Okay, let's look at 11.5. Jensen and Stafford began a partnership to start a hardwood flooring business. They invested $160,000 and $200,000 respectively. They agreed to share profits and losses by providing yearly salary allowances of $150,000 to Jensen and $75,000 to Stafford, 20% interest allowances on their investments, and sharing the balance at a 3-to-2 ratio. So in part 1, determine each partner's share if the first year profit was $420,000. So this is the best way. Always just do your calculation in this format. So we have $420,000 to allocate out. So the first allocation is their salary allowances, and that's $150,000 to Jensen and $75,000 to Stafford. Then the next allocation is 20% interest allowance on their investment. So their investment was $160,000 and $200,000, so we take 20% of that and allocate it to each of the partners. So then we end up, the total of these two allocations is $297,000. So we had $420,000 that we could allocate. We allocated out through salary and interest allowances $297,000. So we have remaining profit of $123,000 to allocate out. It tells us then that they share that amount on a 3-to-2 ratio, which means that 3/5 of the remainder goes to Jensen and 2/5 of the remainder goes to Stafford. So the remainder is $123,000, so $123,000 times 3/5 to Jensen, $123,000 times 2/5 to Stafford. That allocates out the remaining profit, and their shares that each partner gets in are here. In part 2, which is independent of part 1, the partners share if the first year loss was $95,000. So we do the exact same thing, except instead of $420,000, now we have a loss, so a negative $95,000. As you can see, the first two steps are exactly the same. We still give them their salary allowance. We still give them their interest allowance. So that $297,000 is the same as here. Nothing is different. The only thing different is here we had a positive balance. We allocated out this much, which left us with remaining profit to allocate. Here we're starting with a negative number. After our allocations, we've just increased the loss. Now this loss then gets allocated out on a 3-to-2 ratio. So one partner, Jensen, gets 3/5 of the total loss, and Stafford gets 2/5 of the total loss. You still have to do these steps to figure out how much of the loss each person should get. So even if it's a loss, you do this. Even if it's a positive number, so here we had a positive amount left over. Here we started with a negative and just increased the negative. You could start with a positive number. So any number above 0 but less than $297,000, we would have a positive number. But then after these first two allocations, we would end up with a negative. So either scenario, you still do these steps. It just makes a difference here then what number you're allocating out.